Hey guys, Drew here from Sierra High Infusions, and this week we're talking about the great marijuana shortage in Nevada. Did we really run out of legal weed in less than a month? Did the governor really declare a state of emergency because we ran out of legal marijuana? Answers to those questions and more right now. Here's the real rub with what's going on in Las Vegas and Nevada with marijuana. It's been less than a month since marijuana was legalized for recreational use in the state of Nevada, and on July 1st those sales started. But there was one big problem, was that the distribution channels to get the marijuana from the grow facilities and from the production facilities, places that make edibles and concentrates and things like that, those distribution channels had not been set up yet. So really, when we say there's a great marijuana shortage in Nevada, it's a bit misleading because there's plenty of marijuana. There are over 70 marijuana growers in the state of Nevada to supply just 44 recreational marijuana establishments. So there's plenty of marijuana. The issue is that we're having trouble getting it from the growers to the retail stores. In other states, it has been set up where both for medical and recreational, it's been set up so that any cannabis business, whether you're a grower, a producer of edibles or concentrates or anything like that, or a retail store, if you have any of those licenses, that also enables you to transport marijuana in between different stages of the supply chain. In Nevada, there was a lot of resistance to the marijuana legalization movement from big alcohol and big alcohol distribution companies. They see marijuana as a threat to their business because they anticipate a lot of people using marijuana instead of alcohol. So for this reason, a lot of alcohol companies have been very much opposed to pro-legal marijuana legislation. So what Nevada did in order to appease these alcohol distributors was that in the legislation that was passed in November, they granted an 18-month monopoly on transportation licenses to alcohol distribution companies, existing alcohol distribution companies. So by putting this in there and giving them this edge, they were able to resolve some of the tension and friction between alcohol and cannabis, and that helped them pass the laws in November. So the state offers up this concession, this monopoly to the alcohol distributors, and when it comes time for them to pony up and actually take on this responsibility of transporting all of the state's marijuana, they found that only 2 alcohol distributors of the dozens in the state were actually going to step up to the plate and try to take this on. And 2 alcohol distributors is just not enough for Las Vegas, never mind the whole state. So what we tried to do was instate an emergency regulation that would allow, just like other states currently have it set up, and our medical marijuana system, so that anybody with a marijuana license, whether you're a grower, producer of refined goods, or a retail store, if you're any of those 3, you can transport your own marijuana. So we tried to reinstate this emergency regulation, and wouldn't you know it, the alcohol distribution companies came back and actually filed suit against the state, claiming that they couldn't put in this emergency regulation because they had been granted this monopoly. Despite the fact that when the state reached out to them after November and legalization took place, that only 2 of those companies wanted anything to do with the transportation of this marijuana. So nobody really steps up to the plate. There's gonna be a shortage. We try to fix it by instating emergency measures, allowing retail consumers and businesses to transport their own marijuana, and the alcohol distribution companies all of a sudden become very interested in this monopoly that they've been granted. You may be wondering now, why did the governor of Nevada, Brian Sandoval, declare an actual state of emergency because we're running out of marijuana? Well, if you remember back to when the legislation in Nevada was first passed, you might remember that almost all of the tax revenue that was anticipated to come from legal marijuana sales was going to be earmarked for the public school fund. And Nevada's already anticipated quite a bit of recreational marijuana sales. They did $3 to $5 million just in the first 2 days of legalization. That resulted in about $600,000 of tax revenue in one weekend. So they had already anticipated this tax revenue going to the schools, and now that the legal sales are dwindling because of a lack of product, the school's budget is going to be underfunded this year if they can't get this back on track. So that is the part that is worthy of a state of emergency. It's not that we're in a state of emergency because we can't get high in Nevada. It's because without legal marijuana sales, our budget for our school system is gonna fall apart. So Brian Sandoval issued this state of emergency in order to help put in emergency provisions to get this distribution network going again. So what does this mean for you as somebody who lives in Nevada or is visiting Nevada and wanting to buy retail marijuana? Really, it's not that big a deal for you. You can still come in, the stores are still gonna have marijuana. The worst thing that's gonna happen is a lot of these retail stores will be limiting how much you can buy, even beyond the laws implemented by the state. So they are limiting their supply to the people so that they can service as many people as possible, but you'll still be able to get plenty of weed. It's on a per person basis. Some of the places are limiting you to about a half ounce, other places less, other more. It really depends store to store. But really, you're gonna be able to get your weed. So don't worry about that. If you are coming to Las Vegas or anywhere in Nevada and plan to consume recreational marijuana, I highly suggest you check out this video that I posted a couple weeks ago that will tell you everything you need to know about consuming marijuana in Nevada. There are some tricky things about the rules, where you can and can't consume it, so I recommend check out that video and make sure you stay safe. All right guys, that's all for this week. Next week I'm heading up to Denver, and when I see you guys next Tuesday, I will hopefully, knock on wood, be the proud new owner of a building in Denver where we will eventually put the kitchen for Sierra High Infusions. So wish me luck with that. Other than that, we'll see you guys next week. Stay tuned to our social media and website for other related blog posts and information, and we'll see you next time.